This was the Red Army's answer to heavy firepower at range. The DSHK fired the 12.7 by 108mm cartridge, which was, larger and more powerful than its Western counterparts. It used a gas-operated action with a rotating bolt, and was fed from metal link belts, typically in 50-round segments. The gun was mounted on wheeled or tripod mounts and frequently used in an anti-aircraft role. What made it matter was reach. It could engage aircraft, vehicles and infantry at distances light machine guns just couldn't touch. Simple, rugged, and loud, it fit Soviet doctrine perfectly. This was Britain's heavy machine gun when more punch was needed than the classic 303. Chambered in 12.7 by 81mm, it used the Vickers recoil-operated action with a belt-fed system. The rate of fire hovered around 500 rounds per minute, with capacity defined by belt length. It was primarily employed in naval and anti-aircraft roles rather than infantry support. The gun mattered because it bridged a gap. It provided heavier fire without moving to full auto-cannon systems. Reliable and conservative in design, it reflected Britain's preference for proven engineering over experimentation. Japan's primary heavy machine gun fired a 13 by 64mm cartridge designed for anti-aircraft and vehicle defense. The Type 93 used a gas-operated action and was fed by rigid 30-round feed strips rather than belts. This limited sustained fire. But, honestly, it simplified logistics. Mounted on tripod or vehicle platforms, it was effective against low-flying aircraft and lightly armored targets. What made it matter was role specialization. Japan lacked many heavy guns, so the Type 93 filled multiple niches. In island warfare, its high-caliber rounds gave defenders reach beyond standard infantry weapons. This was one of the most widely exported heavy machine guns of the era. Firing a 13.2 by 99mm cartridge, it used a gas-operated action and fed from rigid 30-round magazines. The gun was commonly mounted in twin or quadruple configurations for anti-aircraft defense. Its high muzzle velocity made it effective against aircraft and light armor. After France fell, the weapon saw service with multiple Axis and Allied forces. It mattered because of adaptability. Ships, vehicles, and fixed emplacements all used it. One design, many flags. Italy's standard heavy machine gun fired the 12.7 by 81mm cartridge and used a recoil-operated action. It was belt-fed and designed primarily for aircraft, but it also appeared in naval and ground mounts. The rate of fire was moderate, prioritizing reliability over volume. Ammunition performance lagged behind other nations, but the gun itself was mechanically sound. It mattered because it standardized Italian heavy firepower across platforms. Aircraft, ships, and defensive positions all relied on the same system. In a resource-limited military, shared components mattered more than raw performance. Although designed as an aircraft weapon, the MG-131 still qualifies as a heavy machine gun by caliber. It fired the 13 by 64mm cartridge and used a recoil-operated action with belt feed. Compact and lightweight for its class, it allowed higher ammunition loads in aircraft. Its rate of fire exceeded 900 rounds per minute. While rarely used by infantry, it mattered strategically. It replaced larger cannons in some roles, freeing weight for fuel or armor. In the air war, efficiency mattered as much as firepower, and the MG-131 delivered both. This was Japan's attempt to modernize heavy machine gun capability using foreign inspiration. Based loosely on the Hotchkiss design, it fired the 13.2 by 99mm cartridge. The action was gas-operated, feeding from 30-round strips. Effective primarily in anti-aircraft defense, it was mounted on naval vessels and fixed positions. Production numbers were limited, but its presence reflected Japan's recognition of increasing air threats. It mattered less for volume and more for intent. As Allied air power grew, even limited heavy machine guns became critical defensive tools. While often classified as a medium machine gun, its widespread use in vehicle and fixed mounts placed it firmly in heavy roles. Chambered in .3006 Springfield, it used a recoil-operated action and belt feed. Mounted on tripods, tanks, and aircraft, it delivered sustained fire with belts of varying length. What made it matter was numbers. Tens of thousands were produced. While it lacked the sheer punch of .50 caliber weapons, it filled every supporting role imaginable. In World War II, availability often mattered more than classification. This was one of the most powerful heavy machine guns of the war. Firing a massive 15 by 104mm cartridge, the ZB-60 used a recoil-operated action and belt feed. Designed primarily for anti-aircraft and anti-vehicle roles, it delivered extreme penetration for a machine gun. After Czechoslovakia's occupation, Germany absorbed the design and used it in limited numbers. What made it matter was scale. It sat at the edge between machine gun and autocannon. Few weapons in its class hit harder without stepping into artillery territory. Late-war Soviet experimentation with large-caliber machine guns laid groundwork for post-war designs. These weapons explored calibers larger than 12.7 mm, using recoil or gas operation with belt feeding. While most did not see widespread frontline service before 1945, they mattered developmentally. Combat experience showed that heavy machine guns were increasingly used against aircraft and vehicles. The war pushed designs upward in caliber and capability. Even unfinished projects influenced the next generation. In World War II, not every weapon needed to arrive on time to shape what came next. This was the original German general-purpose machine gun, firing the 7.92 by 57 mm Mauser cartridge. While technically lighter than other heavy machine guns, its versatility earned it heavy use on tripods and vehicles. Gas-operated and belt-fed, it could fire up to 900 rounds per minute. Magazine capacity depended on belt length. Its significance came from adaptability, from infantry support to anti-aircraft mounts. The MG-34 could do everything. Precision and speed combined with modular design made it the backbone of Wehrmacht firepower. Reliability under fire was legendary, though sensitive to dirt and maintenance lapses. The MG-42 improved on the MG-34 with a simplified roller-locking gas-operated action, firing the same 7.92 by 57 mm cartridge, belt-fed, with a rate of fire between 1,200 and 1,500 rounds per minute. It earned the nickname Hitler's buzzsaw. Mounted on tripods, vehicles, or in bunkers, it delivered overwhelming suppressive fire. Magazine capacity depended solely on belt length. What made it matter was psychological and tactical dominance. Infantry charged into its fire rarely survived, and its production-friendly design allowed Germany to replace losses efficiently, keeping fields deadly even late in the war. This British stalwart fired the .303 British cartridge using a recoil-operated water-cooled system. Belt-fed from fabric or metal links, it had a sustained rate of fire around 450 to 500 rounds per minute. Magazine capacity was dictated by belt length. Mounted on tripods, armored vehicles, and ships, it dominated sustained fire roles. Its significance lay in endurance. Water cooling allowed the Vickers to fire for hours without overheating, making it a dependable, defensive tool. While slower to set up than modern designs, it symbolized reliability and consistency in a war of attrition. Though lighter than other heavy machine guns, the Bren often served in a heavy support role for infantry. Chambered in .303 British, gas-operated, and fed from 30-round curved magazines, it balanced mobility and firepower. Rate of fire hovered around 500 rounds per minute. What made it matter was versatility. Tripod mounts allowed longer range suppression, while infantry mobility let it cover advances. Precision and sustained fire gave British and Commonwealth forces reliable, backbone support, especially in defensive and semi-static operations. This was a water-cooled heavy machine gun firing the 8 by 50 mm R cartridge. Gas-operated with belt feed, it could maintain sustained fire rates of 400 to 600 rounds per minute. Belt length determined magazine capacity. Deployed widely on tripods, fortifications, and vehicles, it became a standard of French heavy firepower. Its significance lay in durability. Simple mechanisms allowed continued operation under field stress. Even after France fell, captured guns served Axis forces, proving that solid engineering really does transcend sides. This was a 7.92 by 57 mm heavy machine gun, gas-operated with belt feed. Rate of fire was approximately 750 rounds per minute. Belt length dictated magazine capacity. Used by Czechoslovakia before occupation and then adopted by Germany as the MG-37T, it served on tripods and vehicles. What mattered was engineering elegance. It combined reliability, portability, and sustained fire capability. The design influenced post-war heavy machine guns and demonstrated that, honestly, smaller nations could produce weapons rivaling those of larger powers. The Japanese Type 92 fired the 7.7 by 58 mm Arisaka cartridge, using a gas-operated action with a fixed 30-round pan magazine. Its rate of fire reached about 450 rounds per minute. Deployed on tripods, vehicles, and fortifications, it was Japan's primary heavy infantry support gun. What really made it matter was adaptability in the Pacific theater. Dense jungle and rough terrain required a reliable weapon capable of providing suppressive fire and defending strongpoints. Though honestly underpowered compared to Allied heavy machine guns, it still remained a workhorse. Firing the 6.5 by 50mm Arisaka cartridge, this gas-operated belt-fed machine gun actually preceded the Type 92. Its rate of fire was slower, around 400 rounds per minute, and belt lengths determined magazine capacity. Deployed on tripods and fortifications, it served infantry in defensive roles. Its significance was historical. It represented Japan's early adoption of sustained fire systems and influenced later, heavier designs. Reliability in harsh conditions made it valuable, though its lighter caliber limited penetration and range compared to Allied counterparts. This lighter variant of the iconic MG-08 fired the 7.92 by 57mm Mauser cartridge using a recoil-operated water-cooled system. Belt-fed, with rates of fire around 450 rounds per minute, it was used in both tripod and mobile mounts. Magazine capacity depended on belt length. What really made it matter was survivability and prolonged engagements. Water cooling allowed continuous fire, making it a mainstay in static defenses. Though less flexible than the MG-34 and MG-42, it still retained relevance in early World War II campaigns, proving that older designs could still dominate the battlefield. A licensed copy of the ZB-53, Japan's Type 1 fired the 7.7 by 58mm Arisaka cartridge. Gas-operated and belt-fed, its rate of fire reached about 750 rounds per minute. Tripod mounts and limited vehicle applications made it a versatile, heavy weapon. Magazine capacity depended on belt length. What made it matter was combining foreign design excellence with local production. It gave Japanese forces heavier suppressive fire, partially offsetting deficiencies in armor and artillery. Though late and limited in number, it reinforced infantry firepower where it counted most.